Welcome to the Collaborative Resource Hub by Wellness Provisions. I'm Amy McBride, owner of Wellness Provisions, the most badass wellness business. You're tuning in to the Delay Dying Blog podcast edition because who wants to read when you can have someone read to you? Unless you like using your eyeballs, then catch every single essay over on the website. Just select ones, make it to the podcast. And if you're the pill popping type, no supplements, then Welly P has you covered. We supply rock and rollers with high quality supplements. We're a trustworthy place to go where you can essentially shop blindfolded. Last but not least, my legal disclaimer: nothing in this essay or the Collaborative Resource Hub substitutes medical advice. Please connect with your GP if you need medical guidance. These are my essays, my take on all things wellness, written to educate and inspire. Enjoy today's essay. The fear paradox. A lot of folks agree with the thinking that decisions are made from either one of two places, love or fear. But is that true? And is all fear created equal? And what about all love? Most love we tend to feel that we call love is rather conditional, as opposed to unconditional, which, well, that's actually the true love. So, in this essay, we're going to scope out some thoughts around the thinking and feeling behind decision making. And as I type this, or well, now read it to you, I really have no idea what exactly I'm going to get into. So we will have to see how it unfolds together. And yes, maybe a more professional writer would come back and write the overview of what to expect in this essay after it's written. But guess who isn't professional? Me. I like to keep it real over here at Welly P. So let's see what I'll write next. The devil is in the details. According to the Oxford Dictionary, fear is described as the emotion of pain or uneasiness caused by the sense of impending danger, or by the prospect of some possible evil. Now, the general term for all degrees of the emotion, in early use applied to its more violent extremes, now denoted by alarm, terror, fright, dread. And love is described as a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person, a feeling of warm personal attachment or deep affection, as for a parent, child, or friend, sexual passion or desire. Right. So for me, personal attachment jumps out in that definition. Now, what about true unconditional love? According to good old Wikipedia, the idea of unconditional love is essentially what Buddhism teaches: accepting a partner for who they are throughout their life, no matter what changes, and making the best of every situation is how one achieves personal fulfillment in a romantic relationship. In other words, if you truly love someone, you have to be willing to let them go, non-attachment. Anyways, this essay is about fear and making decisions from fear. So now that we've drilled down on the meanings behind love and fear, let's explore this paradox because it's definitely there. But hang on, let's first make sure we're on the same page about what a paradox is. So according to Oxford, a paradox is a person, thing, or situation that has two opposite features and therefore seems strange. All right, moving along. Making decisions out of love. This is generally thought to be the best place from which to make a decision. You're doing it for the right reasons, for feelings that may make you feel level and balanced, and from a whole heart. Decisions made from love would feel easy, intuitive, and aligned with your core values. Decisions made from love are for your greater good, for society's greater good, for the betterment of yourself and those around you. It's pure. It's not to say there might not be hurt feelings, pain, or sadness, because oftentimes the right decision involves those feelings, even though it's the right thing to do. For example, a breakup. You are no longer in love with your partner. You know you should break up, but while you don't want to hurt them, you recognize it's only hurting them further to keep them in a relationship with you. For if you leave them, you're giving them more time to find the person who will love them, who is meant for them. So you accept what is and release the relationship. It hurts, but it was made from a place of love because you're honoring your partner and their worth, as well as yourself and your needs. Fear is a comfort zone trap. Sometimes making a decision can be really, really hard. Some folks are naturally in tune to their needs and are very decisive, while others go round and round in their head, making themselves queasy on the merry-go-round of what to do. If you're on the brink of uncharted territory, it's going to feel scary. But that means you've created this opportunity in your life to expand your mind and, consequently, your life. But will you take it? Or will you fold in on yourself and say, this is too much? Fear is consuming you from the inside, and you would rather stay in the comfort of your existing world than taste something new outside of that bubble. So you're making a decision out of fear. The all too familiar anxiety-provoking What If movie now on repeat in your head. But you can recognize that it's a movie, and you can choose to turn it off. You can jump into a place of love for yourself and decide you're worth more than this shitty B-rated movie. You can, at any time, make the choice to come from a place of love for yourself and take a different decision. Staying where you are gives you comfort. You know exactly what to expect, but it's limiting and it's succumbing to fear. So are you really even living? Fear as a motivator. Here's where the paradox really goes into overdrive. If making a decision from fear is thought of as bad, and making a decision from a place of love is thought of as good, then what about making choices from fear and allowing that to be a strong motivator for you? Sometimes living from a place of fear is actually a positive thing for you, but really you can flip the coin and call it love because you're choosing to value yourself and demand better for yourself. That's love. But it's the fear of not wanting to go backwards, not wanting to experience that again, not wanting to subject yourself to those feelings or those people ever again. For example, if you grew up in an abusive environment or without a lot of money, the fear of ever returning to a life like that will propel you forward with so much momentum, it will have a positive effect on you. Therefore, it becomes love for yourself as opposed to fear holding you down. Wrapping up, I think it's important, if that's the way you operate, living from a place of forward movement fear, so to speak, that you practice gratitude and have appreciation for what you're creating for yourself. So it's not simply screw that old life, never again, but rather this, what I'm experiencing now is incredible. Thank you. Because then you are ultimately living from a place of love. It's having deep appreciation for the person you are now and constantly becoming instead of focusing on the old you who you wish to not experience again. See the shift there? And before we close out this essay, I want to drop one quote here that I love so much by Freud. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. I'm going to read it a second time. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. So be on top of your life, your feelings, your desires, your dislikes. What makes you feel healthy and balanced and happy? What creates inner turmoil, obsessive patterns, or toxicity within you? Pay attention. Journal your thoughts. Talk to a friend, a therapist, or a wellness coach like yours truly. Unravel those knotted strings of your life so you can understand yourself more and work towards making decisions out of love for the love of yourself and the love of others around you. The hardest choices that feel the scariest can often be the most loving. Not a bad little essay considering I had zero plans for this, huh? Cool. So, if you're in need of guidance along your journey and aren't sure if you're living from love or fear or love within fear or just straight fear, then reach out. I'm here to help. Over and out. Amy McBride, Wellness Provisions.
My life was a mess until I met